As a 10-year-old kid, I used to be so obsessed with skateboarding. I would skate for hours. After school, I would meet up with my friends. We would ride our skateboards. We would go to this elderly home because they had staircase where you could jump off the staircase. So we would jump off the stair. It was like 4 or 5 sets of stairs. We were like 10, 11 years old, jumping off the stairs, and we're just having a blast, man. I would skate all day for the a year or 2 years as a kid. It was so enjoyable. Even though we got cuts, even though we fell, even though we got bruises, even though sometimes we got rolled ankles, I found the activity of skateboarding so engaging, so fun because it was a constant challenge. It was a constant striving to like learn that new trick or to jump off that stairs and land and not fall. It was exciting. It was thrilling. Little did I know, I was entering what is called the flow state. Now, the flow state is a mental state when you're completely engaged and absorbed in activity that you lose your sense of time, and the act itself becomes so intrinsically rewarding. Like it's just your total attention is absorbed in the task. Many of the greatest athletes, performers, scientists, produce their best work when they're in a flow state. So, for example, Michael Jordan, there was a game, NBA championships in 1992, where Michael Jordan shot six, six 3 pointers in 18 minutes. He was just like knocking them down. And after the game, they talked to him. They were like, "Yo, look, how did you do that?" And he said that he didn't know how. It was just effortless. He was in the zone, and that it was just coming out of him. It was like effortless for him. Another example is like Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston. So these are two of the considered greatest vocalist singers of the 20th century. Now, when they were in their performance, they were in such a deep state of flow that everything came out of them effortlessly, and we regard them as some of the greatest performers of their time. And those are just a few examples, but whenever there's a human being performing at a peak level, like elite level performance, it's usually because they have accessed flow state in which the best of them can come out of their work or whatever they do, whether it's their profession, whether it's their leisure time, anything. It's accessing that flow state, which really allows a person to raise to another level of performance. Unfortunately, in today's world, today's TikTok, Instagram Reels world, people's attention spans are diminishing. So their ability to pay attention is becoming less, less, and less. So this is very bad. This is a big problem because without sustained attention onto something, people are not able to get into a flow state. So, and if you're not able to get into a flow state, then you're unable to absorb yourself in activities so much so that you develop skills, you are able to express your creativity and really achieve mastery in some things or just enjoy things more. So the big consequences of not accessing flow states and being distracted all the time are reduced creativity, being less creative in life. Another thing is less productivity. When you work, you're not as efficient. Another thing is you're going to be more stressed because it's going to be more of um of a grind to get things done. Another thing is limited focus and involvement. So you'll have less, of a powerful focus muscle to get things done. And the last thing is it's going to limit your personal growth. So we grow as people through learning new skills, overcoming challenges, and focusing our attention on problems and activities. We grow through that. Without learning to access flow states, we're not giving ourselves that opportunity to grow through that. So, those are some problems, some consequences of not learning to access flow states. Unless we take control of our attention and direct it with intention, we will remain slaves to our compulsive patterns of thought and emotion, and we won't be able to access flow states. Earlier, I mentioned, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. Those are just examples. The thing is, you don't have to be like some superstar, some special kind of person to access flow states. Flow states is accessible to everybody. By virtue of being human, it is designed into us to be able to access flow states. And once you learn how to enter flow states, it'll really enrich your life in many ways, in your daily life, in your working life, in how you interact with people. Once you learn to get into that state, you know, your life just grows in richness. So there's extensive scientific research on the topic of flow, and I'm going to leave a link to a study down below, but there was a scientific study that found that in flow state, there was a reduction of activity in the prefrontal cortex, and there's an increase in activity in the visual spatial part of the brain. Now, what this means is that the reduction in the prefrontal cortex means there is less self conscious, self reflective thinking, and there is more attention, more absorption in the task at hand, which makes sense if you think of like a surfer. When he's out there surfing, he's not thinking of how to move his body, this and that, unless he's a beginner. But when you get into that flow, when you ride that wave, it's instinctual. You get up, you balance, and you're totally absorbed in the moment. You're completely aware of all of the details, and you adjust your body and your position and your balance accordingly. So that's what research is finding about flow states, is that it's allowing people to be completely immersed in the activity and responding instinctively, intuitively, rather than having to think about everything being in your Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, author of the book Flow, has been researching the phenomenon of flow for decades, and he has identified or discovered 6 factors that underlie the flow experience. Now, the first is an intense and focused concentration on the present moment. That's required to activate the flow state. 2 is a merging of action and awareness. So, like to serve an example, they're totally merged. Your awareness and your action are like one. 3 is a loss of self-reflective consciousness. So you're not stuck in your head when you're in flow. 4 is a sense of personal control over the situation or activity. And 5, a distortion of time. So time is distorted. You're so in the activity, you're not, time passes faster. And 6, the experience of the activity is intrinsically rewarding. So you'll find in flow states, it's so enjoyable that you want to experience it again continuously. Now, Mihaly also learned that the happiest people in the world are those who enter flow states on a daily basis. With the way their lives are structured, it allows them to achieve a flow state on a daily basis. These people are believed to have an autotelic personality. Now, what is an autotelic personality? An autotelic personality is a person who possesses the personality traits of being intrinsically motivated, curious, what else? Persistent, enjoys activities for their own sake, and enjoys challenges. Now, these personality traits, this kind of person will more naturally enter flow states, but it's believed by researchers that you don't have to possess these traits necessarily to achieve flow. You know, you just have to structure your activities in a way that you can access flows. Now, let's get to how do you achieve a flow state. One, you need to have a clear and define goal. For example, you want to learn to play the ukulele. You want to learn to play 5 chords. So that's the clear, defined goal. 2 is balance balance of skill and challenge. So you need to ensure that the act is neither too easy or too difficult. So for example, the ukulele, you don't want to learn a whole song if it's your first time picking up the ukulele. No, that's going to be too difficult. You'll be discouraged. And you don't want to just learn 1 chord either. Like that's too easy. So clearly defining 5 chords, you learn those 5 chords, you play those 5 chords, and that's much more manageable than learning a whole song or just learning 1 chord. Now, number 3 is eliminate all distractions. You know, the biggest distraction for most people is your phone. Turn off your phone, put it in airplane mode, put it away. Put it away for a set period of time and focus on the activity. So, when you're first starting, do 5 minutes, then move up to 10 minutes. Then you can go to 20 minutes. Then you go to an hour, and then you can go past that. But you want to have no distractions. You want to have all of your attention on the task. And this relates to number 4. Focus on the present moment. You need to focus all of your attention on the task at hand for yourself to achieve the flow state. And by understanding the principles of flow, you are on your way to accessing better creativity, better productivity, and a better enjoyment of life. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you found value in the video, give it a like, share, and subscribe for more content. Take care.